Hello and welcome once again to the Little Woolly Things podcast. This is episode 29 and today is February 10th, I think. This is my first podcast of 2020. I can hardly believe it. It's been a while since I did this, and at the moment my kids are away helping a friend do some landscaping, and I'm going to have to go pick them up in just under an hour. So let's see if we can get the podcast done within that time frame, shall we? If you like what you see, you can find me at littlewoollythings.com. I also have an Etsy shop called Little Woolly Things and another Etsy shop called Bravewood Beanery that I will be talking about in a few minutes. We will get to that, but for right now, let's start with some finished objects. The first thing that I wanted to show you is a test knit that I did for Sarah of Sarah Craft Yarn. And it is a brand new pattern I believe she has released now called Apatite Socks. And not appetite like food that you eat, appetite like the rock. So this was a very fun knit to do. It has a bit of a textured pattern on the upper part of the leg. And because I was in a really big hurry trying to get this done on time, I shortened the legs section, the upper part. The pattern is written for a 4 to 5 inch cuff, I think, and I just shortened it to make it go faster, but I felt that that was enough to test the chart for the pattern and make sure that everything was good as far as test knitting goes. It has a heel flap and gusset style heel and just a standard wedge toe. So it's pretty simple. The texture pattern on the cuff is only, I think, 4 rows long, so it's very easy to memorize, and it just gives it a nice, stretchy, comfy, squishy texture. So this yarn, I'm uncertain what it is. It was in my stash, and I dug deeply to get to it. So who knows how long the ball band has been missing from that one. Anyway, these are the Apatite Socks from Sarah Craft Yarn, and I know that is available on Ravelry now. I will put a link in my show notes and in the description box below. And if you're interested in just a quick, relaxing kind of sock pattern knit, definitely go check it out. It was a fun pattern to work up. Okay, so I think that's the only finished object I have to show for you. Even though it has been since, I think, before Christmas, since my last episode, I actually did finish an awful lot of projects, but most of them were gifted, and that's the only one that I have in my hands to show you right now. I am working on a bunch of things. And I have another project that I'm going to show you that is sort of finished. The knitting part is finished. We just got back from vacation and we went up to Odell Lake, which is up where it's snowy, and we spent 5 days sledding and eating and playing cribbage and eating some more and drinking lots of coffee and just hanging out with family and connecting, which was really great. We do it every year. This has been our 22nd or 23rd year of doing it. So anyway, the project that I took with me to the snow trip is the Yips pattern by Carissa Browning. And it's great for coming in between FOs and whips because I have all of the yarn portion of this finished, but I still have to do the lining. So anyway, these are my cute Yips. I made 3 of them. And they're little bags you can put stuff in, hang it up on your wall, and I gotta show you all 3 because they are the cutest things together. They're holding their yarns inside them because it was easier to bring them home from the snow that way. But they make me laugh. Okay, here are my Yips, and I feel like when they're all hanging up together, they look like they're singing a song together. Yip, 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 yip. You know the song. So I still need to cut my black flannel and, you know, sew it on the inside so that it looks like they have these big gaping black mouths inside, like your standard Muppet. Their insides of their mouths are usually black, I think. So anyway, yip, 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 yip. They're my yip yips. The pattern is written for a knit version and a crochet version in the same pattern. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, so if you are interested in making some whimsical, cute, funny little things, definitely go check it out. Yip, 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 yip. Should I knit this project? Yep. I did the crochet version because I brought knitting needles for it, but the knitting needle that I brought was the wrong size, and I had not packed my entire arsenal of knitting needles to go on vacation. So I had crochet hooks, and I had one that worked. These are crocheted. Okie dokie. They're very simple and a lot of fun, and I could whip up one in a day pretty easily. But then, you know, there were very few demands on my time while we were up there in the snow. Okie dokie. Oh, I was going to show you my framework bralette. No, I was not going to model it for you. I am in the process of knitting that, but I ran into a snag. I got to the part where I'm working on the straps, and I tried it on, and my cast on edge is not stretchy enough. The rest of the knitted fabric, I believe, will stretch and be fine, but the cast on edge is not elastic enough, which is a problem because it's knit in the round. There aren't any hooks or anything to fasten it. So you got to be able to pull it over to get it on. And I need to figure out if I want to steek it and put a hook in there or a little section of elastic. I might cut part of the ribbing and take out my cast on, not my bind off, take out my cast on and knit down from the top, which will make the stitches off a little bit, like half a stitch. But it's doable, and then I can use a stretchier bind off rather than the cast on. I thought about just steeking the ribbing, or I could steek the whole thing and insert hooks in there. I really wanted something just simple and easy to pull on. So I'm really sort of leaning toward reknitting that ribbing at the bottom, which means, you know, putting a needle through like you're doing a lifeline, and then cutting that yarn and undoing the cast on, and then knitting as if you were working top down rather than bottom up. So, but that's kind of, you know, anytime you cut your knitting and decide you're going to knit onto it, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I've done it before. But it just, you know, you want to think about it before you do it, right? So anyway, that's the way I'm leaning for that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, get onto Ravelry and search for Framework Bralette. It is by Jessie Martinson. Sorry for all the looking down. I have my notes down on the table in front of me here. Okay, so the other whip that I am working on is the Migra Mitts pattern by Laura Nelkin, and I left that in the other room. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is a really cute pattern that I won in a giveaway from Web's Yarn. So here is the pattern, and I'm going to show you one of the pictures here, the front of the pattern. It's kind of a long pattern with lots of charts and beautiful pictures. And the mitts, part of the reason why it's such a long pattern is because the mitts are mirrored left and right. So you need separate charts depending on which mitt you're working. So you can see that involves beading. And what you do is you load all of your beads before you start knitting onto your yarn. And as you work, when you come to the spot where you need a bead, you just slide it along the yarn into place and then continue knitting. So let's see. Here is what I have so far. I started with the right mitt. And it's got a larger size bead and a smaller size bead that run along the design. It's very, very cute. And I ran into a little bit of a snafu changing direction there. The beads aren't perfectly positioned. I might go in with a pair of tweezers and kind of tweak the positioning of the beads just right there on that one row. And another problem that a mistake that I made was, as I started coming this direction, instead of doing knit two togethers, well, you're supposed to do slip knits, and I forgot, and I just was, merrily knitting away and doing knit two togethers, trying to go the other direction. So then I switched it. I only did that for 4 or 5 rows, and then I caught myself. I actually read the chart, and realized that, oh, that's a slip knit, not a knit two together. But I don't want to undo it and fix it. I'm just going to leave it and assume that nobody who admires my mitts is going to look that closely at it. So you can see my beads that are preloaded onto my yarn. The beads change order as the mitts change direction. So you have to count very carefully as you are loading the beads to get the right number of beads in the right place. Anyway, let me talk about the yarn that I'm using. It came in the kit. The kit comes in this cute little tube. I showed this off on my last podcast episode, I believe, but I hadn't actually started knitting it yet. So this is Gail's Art, and I think the colorway is MYS622. Anyway, it's a beautiful purple, and it's the yarn that came in the kit. So kit came with the beads, not the needles. I just stuck the needles in there. It does require 2 sizes of needles, one for the ribbing at the beginning and then a larger size for the body of the mitt. So anyway, and I think then I'm using Addi Turbo circular needle hair, just in case you're wondering. All right, so this is living in my Della Q bag that was also part of that prize package from Webb's Yarn. They were very, very generous, and I was amazed at all the stuff that they sent. So cool. So this is my Della Q bag. It's just a nice little drawstring bag with a satin cord for the draw cord, and it has a pocket inside and everything. It's awesome. Okay. So, oh, good grief. I am so unprepared. This is what happens when I am trying to podcast in a hurry. I forget to bring things out here. So the next thing I wanted to show you is my Northeasterly blanket that I've been working on for a while. I think I showed it off at the very beginning of it in my last episode. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm making it long enough for a queen size bed, and I just started the 3rd strip of the chevrons. So again, hold on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, so here I am back again with my Northeasterly blanket, and I'm really kind of excited to show you guys this project. I'm probably more excited than I should be about a Scrappy project, but I really love Scrappy projects. I made Scrappy socks a couple years ago, and they are my favorite socks. Like, I just love them so much. So there's no way I could possibly identify all the yarns in this. But the really cool thing, oh my gosh, where do I start talking about this? Okay, here's my roll of project. I started with this row, and then I worked on this while we were up in the snow, and yesterday I just started this section right here, and it's just, I'm keeping it rolled up because I find it a whole lot easier to work with if I have it rolled rather than having it draped all over me. But you can see all the beautiful colors I've got in this. And the really, really cool thing that I'm geeking out over, and I know it's not that big a deal, but I love it so much. All of these colors, they don't all have this white in them. Like this color right here, let me show you the ball that I'm working from. It's this color, this yarn. And this one is Wonderland Yarns. I do know this one. But I'm holding it with this cone that I found at a local thrift store. Whoops, it's got another piece of yarn stuck in it. For $2.99. Like a cone, a big cone of yarn. It's a lace weight. It is, let's see, 82% rayon and 18% cotton with nubs. But because I'm holding it with every single sock yarn that I'm using, it is adding this marled off-white tone, and I really feel like it is just blending all of these colors together, because like this doesn't have any white in it either, but look at how smoothly it blends with everything else, because even my variegated skeins, even these ones that are mostly like a creamy white base, I also held that white along with. So every yarn, like this self-striping one with the white cotton held with it, doesn't that look cool? I really, really love it so much. This is also a solid brown held with that cotton. And it takes some of these really dark speckled yarns and just softens them a bit. And I really, really love it. I'm so excited about this. And I cannot wait, as I'm working on this, to put the next color on and see how it fits and how it blends, or, you know, contrasts. I do want some pops of contrast here and there. So I'm not totally being random with my color choices. I want my colors to stand out from each other, but I also want this cohesion of the cotton nubs all through it. So I'm pretty pleased with it so far. Super happy. I wasn't sure I was even going to purchase this pattern and work on it until I saw Michelle of the Naughty Knitwits and her Northeasterly blanket that she was working on. And finally I was like, okay, I've got scraps, why not? It's not going to cost me anything extra and it's better than, you know, having all of these little scraps hanging around not being used. And then I found that cone at the thrift store and knew that it had to happen. So this is just making me super, super happy. I have somewhere a big, you know, safety pin style stitch holder that I have been sticking through here to keep it from unrolling while I'm working on it. But I took it out when I was starting the new column yesterday, and it's stuck in my bag somewhere. Anyway, I'm almost to the end of this color. It is a beautiful, very, very beautiful, it's got like a highlighter green tone in it that makes me happy. And I don't know whose yarn that is. I don't know. A lot of these yarns are from my Advent swap. So that one probably came from my swap partner. But I also sort of like to pick up minis when I'm at the yarn store and I'm just, you know, breathing in all the yarn fumes and feeling impetuous. I will grab a mini skein because they have them hanging right there next to the cash register. Yeah, that was a smart move on their part. Okay, so anyway, that is my Northeasterly blanket. And this is my bag full of minis that I'm putting into it. Minis, scraps, whatever. This is more than a mini. That's more than a mini. This one, I think I actually dyed myself with Rit dye. I don't know what the base was. It probably came from Knit Picks. I was working on a sock project for one of my older daughters a long time ago. And I could not find the right pinks for it, so I decided that I was just going to dye my own pink and came up with that. It doesn't have great color depth or anything. I'm not a yarn dyer, but it was a fun project. You know, I just put a pot on my stove and did the Rit dye thing and put a skein of yarn in instead of an article of clothing or a piece of fabric, and I came out with this beautiful pink yarn. And then after I dyed this one, I stuck another skein in just to soak up all the leftover dye, and I ended up with a really pale pink that it didn't all take the dye, but it's I don't know, it's just kind of a cool effect. And I don't know how in the world someone could recreate it, because somebody knows how dye affects yarn and yarn affects dyes and things better than I do. So anyway, I've got some Knit Picks Stroll Glimmer in here. Another bright pink. I'm really trying to not make it all pink because my husband also has to sleep with his blanket, you know. I have this one. Definitely not pink. This one is from... Oh gosh, Bam and Bean, Bean and Bam. I'll put a link down below. This is one of their X-Men colorways, and I really love those. I have a set. It was a 5 mini skein set of X-Men colorways, and they are all going into my blanket. Do I have anything with labels? Oh yeah. This one is Glam Yarns Serendipity. I think that's going to go into my blanket, but it hasn't hit it yet, obviously. It's not wound. All right, I'm babbling. Let's see, what else did I want to talk to you about? I don't know if any of you follow any sewing artists on Instagram. There's an account called Whimsical, and Michelle posted a video of this Kumi Creator thing that she bought. And if you want to see it in action, you really got to go check out her Instagram. But you turn this crank and you load all of your floss bobbins in it, and you end up with these beautiful friendship bracelets. And let's see, it's the booklet that comes with it. Anyway, I brought that to the snow for the kids to make friendship bracelets with, and I just thought it was so cool that everybody would love watching the thing work. It's amazing. If you're into interesting mechanical things, it's kind of, you know, it's lightweight and plastic, so you have to be a little bit careful with it so it doesn't jam. I don't think we had it jam at all on us, but it's just really fascinating to watch this thing work. Kumi Creator. And I had I think a 60% off coupon at Michael's, you know. So I got a pretty decent price for it, and the kids had a blast playing with it at the snow. Okay, so now I am up to acquisitions. This is the fun part. Well, it's all fun, right? If it weren't fun, I wouldn't be doing this. So let's start with Something Wonderful from Yarnaceous Fibers. I think I want to start with that one. Let's see. She included a cranberry pomegranate tea with my yarn, and this is her dinosaur eggs. Sorry, this is going to be crinkly. I'll try and do it fast. Okay, no more crinkles. Okay, this, let's see. This was her January club colorway. And she is doing a dinosaur eggs theme for her monthly yarn clubs. This one is on her Salta fingering base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 437 yards, 100 grams. And this is inspired by pterosaur Eden eggs. So, is that not beautiful? Soft and gorgeous, and it's like a cappuccino on the beach or something. Beautiful. And it also comes with this beautiful Progress Keeper. And what does it say on it? Oh, it has information about this particular dinosaur. And they came from Northwest China area. That's cool. Interesting. So, if you are interested in dinosaurs and yarn, check out Yarnaceous Fibers. I'm going to talk some more about that here in a bit. All right, because there is more to talk about, but right now we're talking about acquisitions. So, okay, she sent me a coupon code for all you guys watching the podcast. And if you are interested in getting 20% off your next purchase from Yarnaceous Fibers, there is a coupon code 20 dinosaurs. Can you read that? 20 dinosaurs. And that expires March 15th, 2020. So write that down, make a note of it, and go check out Yarnaceous Fibers. All right, so I also had something come in from Alyssa McGrath. This was one of my Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted items. She sent me this beautiful speckled yarn. There's no label on it, but she tells me that this is from Sprinkled Fibers. And Sprinkled Fibers is Lindsay, and actually, if you check out Christy Glass Knits on YouTube here, she did an interview with Lindsay of Sprinkled Fibers. Lindsay is a high schooler. I think she told me she's 16 years old, and she is dyeing some gorgeous yarn colorways. So check out Sprinkled Fibers. All of my yarn wishes were for people to send me yarns from their favorite indie dyers so that I could show them off here on the podcast, and we could all learn about some new dyers who we maybe have never come across before. So go Lindsay, that yarn is gorgeous. Everybody go check her yarn out, Sprinkled Fibers. I think she has an Etsy shop. I will put the link down below in the description box. All right, so the next thing I have to show you is from Expression Fiber Arts. I would be surprised if any of you have not seen Expression Fiber Arts online. They do a beautiful yarn club. This is their Insiders Yarn Club. Is this the January one? Let's see. Oh, this is the December 2019 Insiders Yarn Club, and the theme was Wonder. So, again, I have not even opened this because I did not want to be tempted to use it up before the podcast. All right, so Shandy puts together these yarn clubs. Every month there's something new. There's always something new at expressionfiberarts.com. So you need to check it out, definitely. And if you join the Insiders Club, I believe you get coupon codes. Yes. Yes, you get coupon codes that you can use for your orders at Expression Fiber Arts. So this one, I have two of the colorways. Actually, I think she offered 3 different colorways for this yarn club for December, and I bought 2 of them. This one is called Celebrate, and it is on her Enduring Worsted base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. Look at all those gorgeous colors. It is 180 yards, 165 meters. So that is a beautiful colorway. And then this one, which goes nicely with that one, is called Below Zero. It has some of that same violet color in it. Look at that pop of yellow in there, and the teal and the green, and it's just, I love it. I love indie dyed yarns that have some of the original base color showing through. I really like that style. This is the same base, same yarn base as the other one. So yeah, don't those look great together? They are going to be so fun to work with. Really, really. And they also came, each skein came with an extra little goodie. And because I ordered 2 skeins, I got 2 of these. So this is a little reindeer guy. Can you see him? He's got balls of yarn hanging from his antlers. Come on, focus. Here we go. Isn't he cute? I got 2 of those. And he has 2 backs, so he's not going to spin around on your bag. And that's going to be so much fun to decorate things with in the wintertime next year. Okay, so what else do I have? Oh, now I've got some fun stuff to show you. And I want to talk about Bravewood Beanery a little bit. But first I'm going to show you these coffee bags that I bought from the Bean Bag. Is it thebeanbag.com? Let me see. Thecoffeebeanbag.com. Okay, so this is a 100% cotton machine washable coffee bean storage bag. It has Velcro at the top. And so if you buy your coffee beans, you know, at the grocery store in bulk, instead of using all of those wax-coated paper bags that they have there for your beans, you can use these instead. Velcro it shut. You can wash it, reuse it, and, you know, do your bit at not wasting any more than you have to. So I got this one for my son, who is starting up a new social media account called Blacktail Ballistics. And if you are interested in hunting and hunting gear, feel free to check out Blacktail Ballistics and give them a follow. They're doing some really cool stuff. So that's why I got the camo one. But I also got this one with all of the coffee shop images on it. And this one's a little bit more lightweight as far as a coffee bag. But I'm kind of excited to try these out. They have a nice flat bottom. And yeah, anything that we can do to waste less, I think, is a good thing. Your coffee beans do not need to be kept in the freezer. They do not need to be kept airtight. If you are buying whole bean coffee, you know that the fresher the coffee is, the better it tastes. And so you really should be using your coffee beans up within 2 weeks. You know, that's what I feel. I only do about a week or a week and a half worth of coffee at a time for my own household. But yeah, these should be perfect for storing your fresh coffee beans. You can also store ground coffee in them if that's your jam. I would want to use it up faster if I were pre-grinding my coffee like that. Anyway, so let's talk about Bravewood Beanery. Bravewood Beanery is my other business venture. I love to roast coffee. I've been roasting coffee for about 4.5 years. And so I am finally putting my coffees out there and making them available to all of you guys, because I know most of the people who watch my podcast also drink coffee. Not to like toot my own horn and say mine is the best out there, because I probably am not a master coffee roaster. I have not been doing it for 20 years, only 4, but I do love my coffee, and I do my best to dial in each roast profile for each separate bean that I roast to get the most flavor out of it I can. And I really feel like if you haven't experienced fresh roasted coffee, you're missing out on a lot. I am also venturing into the world of decaf coffees, which is kind of a different animal as far as roasting goes. You have to handle decaf beans differently. But I am starting to work out some roast profiles there. And decaf coffee will be available soon through Bravewood Beanery. I have a 3-month coffee subscription that you can buy into. And what the basic idea of this is that as each region of the world, their coffees become, they're ripened and they're processed and they're ready to ship out. I will be offering coffees from that region as the year progresses. And so each month for 3 months, you get a different country's coffee. January's coffee was from Honduras. February's coffee is going to be from El Salvador. So if you would like to travel the world with your coffee cup, check out Bravewood Beanery. You have options for either a full 12-ounce bag or a 2-ounce sample size. So I tried to make that available at, as many price points as I could, so that if you want to try it out before you commit to buying full bags of coffee, you can try the little sample sizes. The little 2-ounce sample size is enough for 1 drip coffee maker pot or 2 4-cup French press pots. So I think that's a good size for a sample. And then if you decide that it's worth it to you to buy full bags, the full bags are also available. You do not have to buy the 3-month subscription. You can just buy a single sample size bag or a single full size bag, or whatever works for you. So I just wanted to let you know that is available, and I will be offering new coffees as I make sales and can afford to buy more coffees. So yeah, I buy green coffee beans, I roast them myself, and they're all very small batch and very freshly roasted to order just for you. So I hope that you enjoy all of that. I think that I have talked about almost everything that I planned to talk to you about. There's one thing left. Let me turn the page on my notes here. Okay, so to close, I am doing a collaboration with Yarnaceous Fibers. Remember this gorgeousness here. Maggie and I are doing a giveaway, and let's see, let me tell you first about her monthly yarn club. So this is her Dinosaur Eggs, a study, and it is available in both a monthly or a quarterly membership, kind of like my coffee. You can order through the 15th of each month, and the yarn club includes a skein of yarn of at least 100 grams, sometimes more, and a notion or two inspired by that month's dinosaur eggs. So each new club becomes available on the 1st of the month and ships by the 20th. So you have from the 1st to the 15th to order, and then she ships it out on the 20th. And as I said, Maggie dyes the most gorgeous colorways. They are beautiful. So Maggie and I are doing a joint giveaway on Instagram, and I will be posting that as soon as I get this video edited and uploaded. So check out my Instagram page, which is Little Woolly Things on Instagram, and also Yarnaceous Fibers on Instagram, and we are going to be doing a giveaway for one of her yarn clubs. So check it out on Instagram. All of the details will be there. And good luck. I hope that you enjoy, well, I hope you enjoyed all of this podcast. I hope you enjoy our Instagram feeds. And you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Ravelry. I'm Little Woolly Things all over the place. And also on Etsy as Little Woolly Things and Bravewood Beanery. So thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I really do appreciate, I know that I don't have a whole lot of time and my podcast watching time is very limited. So I have to choose very carefully which ones I actually spend my time on. So I really appreciate that you have chosen to spend your time with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!